Husbandos and waifus, what's going on? My name is HERMSAUR. I want to talk about Genshin Impact. As you guys know, Genshin Impact is like one of my favorite games, if not my favorite game currently at the moment. We just finished the Sumeru quest, all of Sumeru Archon quest that involves Nahida or Lesser Lord Kusanali or Bo, whatever you want to call her. But nonetheless, we did finish Sumeru. And it begs the question, like, for newcomers who have always been interested in Genshin Impact, if you haven't played Genshin Impact, or if you want to hop back into Genshin Impact and you're not that far into the story, is it worth getting into Genshin Impact now? And my answer will always be the same, and the answer is yes. I think it's definitely worth hopping into the game if you're willing to grind just a little bit. Now, the grind in Genshin Impact is not as bad as other games that people probably play, like a lot of RPG games, but I would say a lot of the grinding is based off of RNG when it comes to like getting artifacts or even getting the characters that you want. But even if you don't get the characters that you want, you can easily play this game for free. Yes, this game is still free. But Hermes, I'm trying to get all the characters. You don't need every single character. Believe it or not, the less characters that you have, the easier it is to make them overpowered as the world goes by. So I think playing Genshin Impact right now is actually really great. There's a lot of great things in Sumeru that I felt like was fixed from Inazuma. This is great for people who especially play Traveler or are free to play. I hated Electro Traveler. I think Electro Traveler was like really hard for me to use and for me to like in general. I really tried to make Electro Traveler work, but it just didn't fit personally my playstyle. I don't know if anyone else played Electro Traveler, but Electro Traveler for me was kind of a disappointment. But Dendro Traveler's kind of built differently, especially since Dendro gave a very nice buff to Electro. If you have an Electro character, or even if you have a flame character or a water character, it's all good. Like one of my favorite combinations for Traveler is either using Nilou or Barbara. Especially if you don't have Nahida, I think having Dendro Traveler is a good mix-up just in case you don't have Nahida or don't want to get her. I think Dendro Traveler is just as good. Having the addition of Dendro giving that nice buff that Electro characters really needed as a Kaching main, I absolutely loved. But then I'm also really liking the new characters like Nilou, Sino, Tighnari, Kale, which if you guys read the Genshin Impact manga, she is like a main focus on there too. Dori, I haven't really had the chance to use, but from what I hear, Dori's kind of like, you know. And then Candace. So in terms of the new characters, so far I like all of them. I still have every single character, at least I try to get every single character, and that still stays true. Mihoyo likes to take my money. Of the new characters that I got, I'm really enjoying Nilou, because obviously Nilou will do amazing with Nahida, but she does just as amazing with Dendro Traveler. So those two paired together is like a really fun combination that I like to use too. Or you could use, you know, Nilou Tighnari, but having 2 5-stars back to back is kind of like asking for too much, but Dendro Traveler is just as good, just saying. Now, when it comes to the character's personality, I think I like every single character, even for characters that have yet to be announced, like Alhaitham and whoever. The only character that, you know, I know people get really mad when I say this, I'm not much of a Scaramouche fan. You know, Scaramouche being announced as a character officially to be released, but not as an Electro. A lot of people were questioning about that. I'm curious to see how that's going to work. I feel like that has a lot to do with the boss fight that we had with Scaramouche. I'm curious to see how Scaramouche plays, even though he's not like a character that I personally like. I'm still gonna get him, obviously. I want to see how he's gonna play. But in terms of all the other characters' personalities, I feel like they all played a very important role. I love Dehya. Oh, I cannot wait till Dehya becomes releasable and I can play her, because she's actually the character in Sumeru that I really want the most. Obviously next is Nilou, because I love me some water baby girls and I like Nilou a lot. Dehya? Shit. And then it was Candace? Like, those two could literally just step on me and I'm all for it. Tighnari was a intellectual academic character that I really liked alongside with Alhaitham. I think Nahida is a very good god. I think she's a great god. Now, in terms of the whole Archon quest, it was just wow. It it was long. It was obviously the longest archon quest that we've ever had. Some parts kind of felt like it dragged on a little bit, kind of like there is a certain part in 3.0 that felt really long. I think it was like the dream state. If you haven't done the dream thing that was happening in the bazaar, then you know, I don't know what's happening. But anyways, that part kind of took a little bit longer than I would have liked it to. But then of course they made it a lot shorter than it could have been. So props to Hoyoverse for that. And then as the story progressed, even going into the desert world, oh my god, we're gonna talk about the worlds later. There's just so much. There's so much in Sumeru than any other fucking area that we've been to. Sumeru's freaking huge. I haven't even fully discovered everything. Like, I still have to finish going to the underground parts of the desert. There's an underground part to the desert. The desert's freaking huge. Like, Sumeru's huge. And I haven't even gotten to the point where I'm familiar with the area as well as I am with the other areas. I mean, like, it took me like maybe a month or two to get adjusted to Inazuma, and that's me playing for long hours. Same thing with Mondstadt and Liyue. But to be fair, those two, the two beginning areas we had for a very, very long time. So I know that area like the back of my head. But when it comes to Sumeru, that's completely new. And the fact that it's bigger, it's gonna take me a while to like kind of adjust to the area. But when it comes to how it looks, oh my god, it's beautiful. I gotta give it to Hoyoverse, dude. Sumeru is like so freaking pretty. For a long time, even with the release of Inazuma, I always had some favoritism towards Liyue. But when Sumeru finally came, I was like, oh my freaking goodness, dude. Beautiful. And the music, Hoyomix did a fantastic job with the music. Loved the music in every place, especially love Port Ormos music. The battle theme for Scaramouche, or the Balladeer, was really, really fun. I just like, in general, the battle theme here. I don't know if I like it more than Liyue's battle theme still, but I definitely like Scaramouche's music a lot. I'm trying not to spoil too much. If you guys didn't know we fight Scaramouche, it's in the trailer. it's posted everywhere. So that might still be a spoiler if you're not, you know. Anyways, but the whole story with Nahida and how it ties into the whole lore of Genshin Impact changes everything. From the beginning where we're introduced to Irminsul to the end where we're talking about Conria and about the twin of the Traveler. Oh my god. Oh my freaking god. The lore just fucking blew the fuck up, and there's just so much more to Genshin Impact. And it makes me honestly really, really excited to see what comes of it, because we still got a lot more to explore. Fontaine obviously being the next place that we're going to, I believe. There is just so much. And then even like with prior trailers when we were introduced to the Fatui Harbingers. Oh man. Even with this Sumeru being introduced to the Doctor and knowing like he is actually really, really, really strong, to the point where Nahida was admittingly saying that she couldn't possibly beat him if it came to chance, that she had to use a bluff that he bought in order to kind of have him back off a little bit. But just the mere fact off of especially the last update with 3.2, which is wrapping up the whole Archon quest for Sumeru, the fact that the lore within the last part just went nuts. It went guys, I was reading it and I was going crazy. I was mentally, because as I was showing on screen and I'm watching it, it's just like I was letting them talk. I couldn't even react. I couldn't commentate because it was just so lore heavy that it made me really, really excited for Genshin Impact for what's to come later on. And the whole, oh my god, it's just everything about Sumeru, story-wise, phenomenal. The best story of Genshin Impact to date. But, and I've said this, is that the peak moment of Genshin Impact, the moment that made me fucking like actually get as hype as possible, was Kazuha jumping in to back up the Traveler when Raiden Shogun was about to kill him. That Kazuha moment that people thought Kazuha was going to die, that moment was so pog. That will always forever be my most favorite moment of Genshin Impact until something probably later on. Nonetheless, Sumeru, I didn't know how they were gonna top Inazuma. I really didn't know how they were gonna top it. I was like, dude, Genshin, I don't know how you're gonna do it, but Inazuma's story was fantastic. Now when we get to freaking Sumeru, oh my god, good stuff. Genshin Impact, it was fantastic. I know I'm just gushing over the game, but I can't help it. Now, obviously, the game has its flaws. They don't really give good yearly rewards. Summoning is pain. There's a, in terms of mechanics of the games, yes, you know, and rewards and all that, it could be better. Could be better, obviously. Even sometimes when you're summoning characters, they just add an extra character. I feel like they just do it just to do it. Repurposing a banner, even though the character is not even going to be a part of the story or something. When we're talking about purely about Sumeru, it was great. I loved Sumeru. From the desert story of building alliances with certain characters, how everyone plays their part in this, it's so great. Even though Inazuma, everyone had their part, you know, when it came to Kokomi, Raiden Shogun, Kazuha, and all that. I felt like here, in particular, each character had such a major role. Alhaitham, Saino, Dea. I'm so glad Dea got so much screen time. I really, really like her character. Nilou had some very strong moments. I felt like at the end, though, they could have gave Nilou a little bit more. And even Nahida, you know, like the tie-in to everything was great. And I'm excited because obviously until we get like a 4.0, we're going to continuously get story about Sumeru and everything that's going to happen in Sumeru, all the side stuff that happens in Sumeru after the fact, everything that happens. Now let me tell you, like the whole thing with Inazuma, how Raiden Shogun was running Inazuma, taking away people's visions, right, and which in turn takes away their desires and all of that, right? It changes their personality. And with the end of Inazuma, how all of Inazuma just flipped because everyone got their vision back after Traveler did his thing. Sumeru was like double that. Like, it was like, oh my god, dude, it was just Sumeru. Literally everything about Sumeru, that what we were introduced in the beginning, got turned upside down. I don't know if anyone's actually played through Sumeru. I obviously tried not to spoil as much as I could, but let me know, guys, because I had so much fun with Sumeru. I love Genshin Impact. Like I said, Genshin Impact has its flaws, just like how I say Sword Art Online has its flaws, but I still enjoyed Genshin Impact a lot, and I will forever be playing this game until the very last update. But let me know your guys' thoughts about Sumeru if you guys played it. Anyways, guys, thanks for coming through. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys in the next one.
You always hit me on my line, baby.